For my technology integrated curriculum unit plan, I will be teaching my students how to graph and write linear equations as well as linear functions. One of the technological tools they will be using is run through PhET interactive simulators. On this website, the students will be brought to various activities that could be used throughout the school year. I will be providing my students with a worksheet that will require them to answer questions, and they will use the simulator to help them do that. When they get to this site, they will click on graphing lines. Once they click play, they will be brought to 4 different simulators, one of them involving slope. With these questions, the students will be able to answer how the slope and steepness of the line changes as they manipulate the x and the y values. Then the students will be required in this activity to answer questions about lines written in slope-intercept form, and again, they will be able to manipulate the values and describe the changes they see. They will also be learning about point-slope form. So in this portion of the activity, they will continue to make observations and conclusions, and then using this simulator, they will be required to write the linear equation in slope-intercept form as well. To review, there is a game at the end that can be used during this activity, and it can also be used to help the students review for any future tests and assessments. And as the levels increase, so does the difficulty of the questions. So some of the questions will have the students graph themselves, and they are able to check their work, and it will tell them if they are correct or not. A second tool I'll be using is Desmos. For part of the activity, the students will be graphing on paper, but they will be required to check their work with the graphing calculator provided by Desmos. And it's a very simple calculator. They would just be able to type in the equation that I had given them and then check to see if it matches their work. The technological activity I will be using on Desmos is called Land the Plane. I will be able to assign this to my class and set a specific due date. To practice with this activity, there's numerous stages that help the students reinforce their skills on slope-intercept form and also show how they can apply these skills to a real-world scenario. As they practice landing the plane, they will be guided with questions on how to get there, and then they will also be shown if they did it correctly or not. And as they click through the slides and complete the activities, I will be able to receive the students' scores and progress. As the levels get more difficult, the students will have to use more of their knowledge of slope-intercept form by manipulating equations or writing their own equation to make sure that the plane lands properly. The final technological tool I will be having my students use is Microsoft Office. With this activity that I have planned, the students will be put into pairs or small groups. Through Microsoft Office, the students will have to develop their own word problem to be typed and outlined all online. The students can work on this project both in school and out of school. They will be able to share the document to one another so they can all edit it at different times. On the Word document, the students are required to share their real-world scenario as well as the linear function that goes with their real-world scenario. Then the students will be required to make a table showing the function values for x and then the function values for what would be y, or the answers to the function at different values. Once the students have completed this, they will then go to Microsoft Excel, and they can either input their table here or they can create their own graph to display the data in a different way. The students can use Excel if they would also like to type their table here. This is a great way for the students to collaborate because it's very easy for them to be able to share documents and workbooks together. Here is a list of references from the 3 technological tools that I will be using.